Juz 14 has two surahs. Hijr begins with describing the remorse of the disbeliever on the Day of Judgment when he wishes that he had adopted a different attitude than the one right now that is marked clearly with disrespect towards the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ayahs 6 to 7. Ignoring the evil of the disbeliever, the surah from ayah 9 to 50 seeks to comfort the Prophet and also explain the true nature of the stubborn disbeliever. He's not going to believe. It starts with the promise of the preservation of the Quran in ayah 9, followed by a list of signs for the power and might of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, 16 to 25, the constellations in the skies, the mountains on the earth, and then the ultimate ability to give life and death itself. For an open mind, these are signs sufficient enough. But a disbeliever will continue to turn away. 26 onwards is the discussion of the beginning of creation, the prostration to Adam alayhi salam, and then Iblis's refusal to that, and then finally the discourse between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Iblis to allow Iblis some time so that he can deviate man, verse 39, and then his own admission that he will have no power over the ones who truly submit, and that is verse 40. This discourse then ends with stating the destinies of both the believer and the disbeliever, taking us to the final section of this passage, which is 4 stories, one of mercy in the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam and the angels, then 3 stories of divine punishment that came upon the disbelievers of Lut alayhi salam, Shu'aib alayhi salam, and Salih alayhi salam. Taking lessons from these stories, concluding the surah is then a directive to the Prophet ﷺ to ignore the mockery and slander of his disbelievers and seek Allah's protection by way of his glorification, tasbih, and praise, hamd, in verse 99. Surah Nahl 1 to 126, also called the Surah of Blessings, is a powerful reminder of all blessings to the heedless man, starting with the blessing of revelation, man's creation, the food from the cattle, its skin for clothing, the horse, mule, and the donkey for rides, the water from the sky that both man and animals drink from, the same water that causes the earth to produce the olives, date palms, and grapes. Another group of signs is the creation of the night, day, sun, moon, and the stars. The third set of signs we see are in the seas, the fish in it that we eat, and the pearls that we use as ornaments, the ships that travel back and forth to help us seek the bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In ta'uddu ni'matallahi, if you count the blessings of Allah, you will not be able to enumerate them. Verse 18, concluding this section with the disbeliever's emphatic denial of life after death. 38, despite everything that he sees in him and around him. 51 to 76 describes some aspects of his superstitious beliefs and his attitude towards daughters in general, bringing the discussion back again to some of the other blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, such as the white milk in the belly of the cattle, fruits from the date palm, the honey from the bees, the honey in different shades, and the blessing of the family members, followed by the ayahs about resurrection, placed against ayahs about the reality of idol worship. To end the surah is an encouragement for the disbeliever to follow Ibrahim alayhi salam, who was the most grateful to his Rabb.
من أجبت دعاء نوح فانتصر وحملته في فلكك المشحون يا من أحال النار حول خليله روحا وريحانا بطول